21. Yeah. Wow. Hey, Bonnie. I always say, maybe it's just going to be you and me. And then people join, but maybe it truly will just be you and me today. All right, well, I'm just going to dive in. Hopefully people will come. If not, they can watch it later, right? We know you guys are watching it because we see your stitch pictures. Thank you. Okay, let's see what it is. Woven Rose. I can't believe it's still not chevron. I know so many people were looking for chevron way back in the day when we first started, and I've been kind of expecting chevron to come out when we've been pulling these, but it's still not coming out. So, Woven Rose. All right. Just switch it around. So the Woven Rose is really similar to the ribbed spider web. There's just a couple little differences that are good to keep in mind. So let's see. Let's take a look here. Here's mine. I just left I didn't finish it. It was taking too long. And so I decided to just leave the little spokes sticking out. Hey Karen, welcome. It's Woven Rose or Woven Spider Web. It's also called the Woven Wheel. Here's Bonnie's. She went all the way out. She had more patience than me. And then, let's see, where is ours located? It's in the same spot down there. All right. So as you can see on your board, we have pre-drawn the spokes. So that's something that's nice to do in the beginning. You definitely want to take some time to draw the spokes. It can be tricky to get them evenly spaced. The difference between the ribbed spiderweb and the woven is that you need to, if you want the woven to turn out woven, you need to use an odd number of spokes. So getting those spaced can be difficult if you don't have a Bonnie in your life. So Bonnie made these all evenly spaced, but you just do your best. And once it's woven, unless you have them like two of them super close together and then two of them really far apart, you won't really notice a big difference. And you can weave this with anything. You can, use the embroidery floss. You can weave it with yarn. You can weave it with ribbon, and just kind of pay attention to how the ribbon is lying down. It's really pretty. So there's a lot of variety. You can also do, instead of doing the spokes as just like a straight stitch, you could do them as a lazy daisy, and then stop before you get to the edge, and then it kind of looks like you have little leaves coming out from behind the rose, which is really pretty. So, all right. In the interest of time, because this stitch does take a long time, I am just going to demo it right on our sample. Okay. So I spent the morning sitting in front of the fire again, so I'm freezing, even though I have the heat on down here. I'm really cold. My mom makes these things, we call them footies. They're like a fleece kind of, oh, you know what it's like? It's like a weighted blanket, but it's smaller. And she puts field corn in in each like square that she has sewn. She like sews these squares and then fills it with field corn. And then we put them in the microwave. So I'm actually sitting on one right now. Maybe that'll help me warm up. So let's see. It's on the turquoise. I am gonna go with turquoise. So I am going to use 6 strands for both my weaving and my spokes. And the reason for that is because I just don't want it to take a super long time. If you don't, if you have a ton of time and you're really enjoying the weaving, then you can go through and use less. Like I think looks like Bonnie used 3 here, and I know I used 3 on mine too. So, it just depends on what kind of time you got on your hands. So, all right. So it's just like the way that we did the ribbed spider web. It is good practice to start on the outside and go to the inside. You don't have to. But we like to do it this way. We like to teach it this way because it's just easier to find the center when you're coming from the top. If you, oh, my threads are all wacky. If you come up from the bottom, then once you start to have a whole bunch of straight stitches laid down, then it's just a little bit harder to come up through the back. But if you want to come up through the back, you do that. So I took my needle off so that I could fix my strands. I don't have any thread conditioner with me today, or any lip balm, but that can help. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go around, and just don't forget, you need an odd number. If you're not going to follow the lines that Bonnie has drawn on here, you're going to need an odd number. If you do an even number, it won't work out. It's because you need to go under, over, under, over. Okay. And just like in the ribbed spider web, we're just going to come up from the back and then go around. Now in the ribbed spider web, you go around each straight stitch. In this, we're just going to go over and under each straight stitch, really just weaving it. And you can leave a little hole in the middle, which is what I'm going to do. And then when you're done, you can put a little French knot or colonial knot in there. Do whatever you want. That's what's so great about embroidery. Not all fiber arts, really. Just do whatever you want. We started our class yesterday with our kids, and that was like kind of the message that we're just giving throughout the whole class is, this is your project, and it's your work, and so you can, make it look like how you want. There are some things to think about and consider, so you're happy with it when you're done. But make it yours. You'll be happy with it at the end if you make it yours. Oops. Okay. Let me just get my new thread on here. All right, so I am going to come up in the middle right next to this stitch, which I actually don't love the placement of it, but I'm gonna just love it, even though I don't really like how it is. Okay, and now I'm going to use the back, the eye side of the needle, and because I came up just next to this, I'm gonna go over it and then under the next one. And now, since I went under that one, now I'm going to go over this one and under. And you can do a couple at a time. It does get harder to do that as you go around, but yeah. And you just want to make sure that you're always doing the opposite of what you did before, that you're weaving. So I went under this one, so now I'm going to go over that one and under this one. And I went under that one, so I'll go over, under again. Okay, and so you just keep going around. This looks really different when it's done with 6 strands. It's really cool when you do it with like a 1/8 inch wide ribbon, a satin ribbon. That's really neat. I love that. It really looks like a rose. So as you go around, you'll notice that now you're doing the opposite of what you did before. Like before I went over this one, so now I'm going under it. This reminds me of mending socks. I like to use a darning loom when I'm mending my wool socks, and that I always have to say, okay, over, under, over, under. Guys, I'm so ready for winter to be over. For those of you who live in California or somewhere warm, you are lucky. I used to live there. I don't know why I moved. Sometimes I wonder why. But I wouldn't have met Bonnie. We wouldn't be doing this. So for that, I am grateful. So I'm just going around. You could change colors too. That's really fun. Maybe I'll do that just for kicks. I'm going to change colors. So I'm just, to go back down, I'm going to just go under the stitches that I did before and hide my thread under there. And I'm going to switch to the pink. I love having all these threads pre-knotted and tied, pre-threaded and tied. It's so great. All right, so I went under this one, so I'm going to come up right here and go over the next one. Then I went under, so I'm going to go over, under again. Over, under. With the 6 strands, you can really see the weaving. With the 3 strands, it didn't really show up as much. We heard from a couple of friends of ours that they're not doing bingo, but they enjoy watching our videos. So that's good. I'm glad that we're providing some entertainment to people. One of my close friends from home, Anya, she said she really loves watching them. She said she feels like she's hanging out with me, which is really nice. If you guys are interested in natural skincare, her stuff is pretty awesome. You can find her on Etsy, Anya's Herbals. Her skincare is lovely. Okay. All right, I'm almost done here. Because I changed color, I am going to leave the spokes showing because I like how that looks, like the contrast, like, oh, here comes the turquoise again. So it's here and then it's back. So I'm going to go under, let's see, over, under, I'm going to go back in right here. You can just kind of tuck under and hide your thread under there. Oh my gosh, I threw the knot on the other side. Ah! No! All right, my tension is all crazy now. I gotta fix this, but I'm not gonna make you guys watch me. All right, so the lesson from today is don't accidentally go through your knot on the other side. All right, happy stitching, everyone.